giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
And welcome back. We've got native plants in the studio. So you might remember our guest, Nadia Navarette-Tindall. She's a native plant specialist. Welcome back to Mediacom.
Hi, thank you, James.
Yeah, your set always looks so natural over there with these plants.
Yeah, I just always like to bring something green so people get excited, especially now that spring is finally coming.
We hope so. We hope it's here to stay, yes.
Yeah.
You also call yourself a private consultant?
Yes, I'm as an educator. I offer training if people would like me to come to give presentations to their groups about native plants, all topics included. And I focus on native edible plants. But I also do visits to gardens to help people to select their native plants in their yards.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, because sometimes we just want to put native plants, but we don't know for sure what will be in our own backyard. And it's what I brought some samples so I can show you some, just give the viewers some ideas what they can do in their own yards.
Okay, let's start with, how about the tall one over there?
Okay, this is spice bush. This is a tree that I can talk for a long time because it's not only good for butterflies, this one feeds the caterpillar of the spice bush swallowtail. Butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, what is really neat about this plant is early in the spring, just like now, is blooming. And the very tiny flowers, you wouldn't believe it, but there are many native bees that will feed on the flowers. They come to visit this time of the year. So they are really a source of food for insects early in the spring. Later, this was in the greenhouse, is why it's looking so pretty.
Okay.
But the leaves will feed this caterpillar. And the caterpillar is really neat because what they do is they kind of form like a tent like this. I don't know if you can see it from here. But so you can leave the leaves alone because they usually have a little caterpillar that protects itself doing that. But you can use the leaves to prepare a tea because it's a very aromatic plant.
Oh.
A spice bush can be used for tea. I actually dry the leaves to make a syrup.
That's a syrup, huh?
It's a syrup.
Spice bush syrup?
Yeah.
Your camera's right over there.
There it is.
Yeah, well, it looks good.
It is really nice and very fragrant. And you can also use it for tea. And then later in the year, because the flowers are done, and then you can have the berries in the fall, they just become pure red. And it's
edible berries?
The berries.
Edible?
Yeah, they're edible. You can actually you can eat them.
Yeah.
And they taste like peppercorns. And they're not as pungent as pepper, but they can be used as a spice in cooking. And actually, I've seen this just recently. I saw a website where they sell the spice bush berries. So this tree can be good from spring to fall. And even in the winter, you can use the twigs to make your own teas.
So many different uses out of this one.
Yeah.
You call this a tree?
It is a small tree. It could be considered a bush. And what is important to know is that it grows in the shade. It naturally is found in moist areas. So talking about what plants you need to choose in your yard. Many people in Colombia have shaded areas. They don't know what to grow. Nothing grows under trees. This will.
In this weather, in this climate.
In this weather, this climate. And with this changing weather, they don't mind. They know how to handle extreme conditions.
So if we're out and about in the woods, in the shade, would we find the spice bush?
Yeah, in a really nice woodland, yes.
Okay.
And they're very abundant in parks, like in Merrimack State Park.
Yes.
They grow in bottomlands where there is no bush honeysuckle invasion. You find these things. They're really they're common. Okay. And they can be found in the nurseries native plant nurseries.
Okay. If people want more information about this, what can they do? How can they find
Well,
out?
they can check my Facebook page. I have information there. If they have any particular questions, they can send me messages to my Native Plants and Program. I'm sorry, Native Plants and More.
So your email is nativeplants&more@gmail.com.
Yes.
And your Facebook page is at Facebook, Native Plants and More.
Yes.
So keep thinking Native Plants and
More.
and that'll
Yeah.
get you Nadia. For questions or comments or what's coming up in the future, right?
That's right. We have events sometimes. There is one class that I will be giving at the very beginning of May, and they can check. It's on May 1st. And then we have other events where we promote native edible plants like this one. And we have others like native plants for pollinators too. So, and it will be in my Facebook page, all the
Native Plants and More at
activities.
Facebook and nativeplants&more@gmail.com.
That's
For the
right.
private consultant, a native plant specialist, Nadia Navarette-Tindall, thank you for teaching us
Thank you.
something today. Good to
Thank
see
you very
this.
much for the opportunity.
Come on back and see me, okay?
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Nadia. And we'll be right back after this.